Hello everyone, welcome to Court with Krissy. The hottest part about this bench trial, besides Judge McDreamy, is the thermostat. The defendant, who gives me major Bernie Sanders vibes, is going to want to take his coat off and stay a while. He's got some jail time. I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
All rise, please. We'll now reconvene.
Please be seated. Next matter is 24 CRB 1429, State of Ohio versus Idir Amacrane. Mr. Amacrane is present without counsel. Ms. Davison's here on behalf of the Law Director's Office. We're scheduled for trial today on a charge of trespass. Mr. Amacrane, you wish to have a trial today? Okay, you understand you're waiving your right to an attorney today? Okay. Ms. Davison, would you like to make an opening statement?
No, we waive, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Amacrane, would you like to say anything before we begin? No. Okay, you may call your first witness.
This state will call Jordy Owens.
Right up here to the witness stand, please. You'll see some steps up to your left. Go up those steps, remain standing, and raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give in this case now being heard to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, or under the penalty of perjury? Yes. Have a seat. State your full name, spell your last name.
Jordy Owens, Owens.
And state your full home address or business address.
My business address is, let me pull it up here, sorry. It's in Kentucky.
Thank you.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Owens.
Good morning.
I want to talk about an incident from October 18th of this year. Do you remember that day?
Yep.
And on that day, did you have an occasion to call law enforcement?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And describe what you were doing prior to calling the police.
So we have a vacant building in Pataskala there. I go there bi-weekly to check on it.
And who is we?
Building management partners and JLL properties.
Okay. And you work for them or own the company?
I work for building management partners, and then JLL hires us to manage their properties.
Okay. So you went to this property, you said it was a vacant building?
It's a vacant building. They just built it probably, maybe a year and a half ago. We just go there to check on the conditions of the building.
Is there anybody residing there, or does anyone have a business there? Should anybody be there?
No.
Okay, besides yourself?
Only the people who have access.
Okay.
So.
And you said you do this monthly?
Bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly.
Yeah.
And when you go to this building, you said it's in Pataskala? Mm-hmm. What road is it on?
Refugee Road Southwest.
Okay. Do you happen to know the address?
Yeah, 123. I can't think of it.
125?
1253.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yep.
Okay. But it is on Refugee Road?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you go to that building on October 18th?
Yeah.
And about what time did you go?
It was in the morning, kind of late morning. If I can remember right, I think it was around 9 o'clock or so, maybe.
Okay. So it was late morning. You went to the property. Was anybody with you, or were you by yourself?
It's by myself. Just what I normally do: go, unlock the door, go in and check the office area. Mm-hmm. I noticed the heat was higher than normal. Mm-hmm. And I went and checked it, and it was like 90 degrees, and then I seen a person sleeping in there.
Okay.
Sleeping in there.
And where specifically was he sleeping? In what room or what area?
It's on the right side of the office. I think the third room on the right side of the office.
Okay. And did you check to see how he got in?
No, I mean, we've been getting burglary alarms for like a whole month. We thought it was something wrong with our system, but it come to find out it was someone getting in there, so.
Okay. And when you saw this person in the office area, did you know them?
No,
Okay. Pursuant to your job and management, were you aware that he or any other person was supposed to be there that morning?
no.
Okay. When you saw this person, what were they doing?
I mean, I just seen his feet, so, I mean, I imagine he was sleeping
Okay.
on the
And
ground.
the person that you saw in the building, did you know who he was before that day?
No,
Okay. Do you see that person in the courtroom?
yep,
Could you tell me where they are and what they're wearing, please?
this guy right here with the mask on,
Okay. And you pointed in front of you?
yep.
Okay. After you saw the defendant in that office, did you contact police?
Yep.
Did they come?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And did you have to re-secure the building or check
Yeah,
the
I
building?
went around and checked all the doors and stuff, and I do that now once a week or bi-weekly, go through and make sure all the doors are shut.
Okay.
So, it's a pretty big building. It has, hundreds of doors,
Okay.
so. And there's a back side of the building, no, you can't really see what's going on, so it's kind of just easy to get in there, I'm sure.
Okay. I have nothing further. Thank you.
Mr. McCrane, you have any questions for the witness? Okay, you may step down. I call your next witness.
Officer Berninger. You can just have a seat. Thanks.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony is given in this case now being heard to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, or under the penalty of perjury.
I do.
Have a seat. State your full name, spell your last name,
Derek Brenninger, last name Breuninger,
and state your business address.
623 West Broad Street, Pataska PD.
Thank you.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Officer Brenninger, how long have you worked for Pataskala Police Department?
About 3 years.
Okay. Were you working on October 18th of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
And what shift were you working that day?
First shift, day shift.
Okay. And during your shift, do you wear a uniform like the one you have on?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you drive a marked patrol car with working visible light bar?
I do.
Okay. Now, on that date, did your primary job duties include answering calls for dispatch?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you, throughout your shift that day, did you receive a dispatch to location on Refugee Road?
I did.
And what was the nature of the dispatch?
It was a trespassing call.
Okay. And did you go to that location?
Yes, ma'am.
And what happened when you got there? Who did you see or what did you do?
So me and Sergeant McGeorge arrived together. We met up with, I believe, Mr. Owens is his name. He explained that he had witnessed somebody had broken in and had been staying in there sleeping. He wasn't too sure what was going on, but there was an individual inside that wasn't supposed to be there.
Okay. And then did you go into the building to look for this person?
That's correct, yes.
And did you find anybody in the building itself?
So initially, when we went in, we weren't sure where Mr. McCrane was at that point anymore. Pretty sure he had been alerted that people had came in. So we did a building search, pretty big warehouse, like Mr. Owens said, 100+ doors. So we were walking around for a minute, and then after we had walked to one side, we thought what we had seen was him exiting one of the doors towards the back. At that point, we had quite a ways to go to get back to that side. Sergeant McGeorge went out the door that we believed he exited from, and I went around the front. It was radioed to me that Mr. McCrane was pushing his bike around the back parking lot at that point.
Okay, and is that when you made contact with the defendant?
So he had, by the time I made it back to my cruiser, he had made it down to Refugee Road
Okay.
at that point, which is attached to the parking lot, essentially.
Okay. And when you said he had made it to the Refugee Road, was he actually on Refugee Road or was he still in the parking lot?
He was walking from the parking lot. When I made contact with him, it was on Refugee Road.
Okay, okay. And do you know, is he the person you saw exit the actual building?
I wouldn't be able to confirm for 100%.
Okay. But you talked to this individual on Refugee Road?
That's correct.
Okay. And you said he was pushing a bike?
Correct.
And what did you say or ask the defendant?
My initial contact with him, I just detained him momentarily, plus we're on the side of refugees, so we're kind of getting him off to the side of the road. And my initial conversation was short with him. It was my first interaction with him, so I was asking him, why he was sleeping in there. Didn't get too much of an answer, and then I was working on identifying him.
Okay. And what happened then?
At that point, Sergeant McGeorge, like I said, he went out the back way. He had, maybe a minute from me identifying him, he had arrived on scene. I believe Sergeant McGeorge had already dealt with Mr. McDreamy and possibly given some warnings about prior incidents. At that point, he was placed under arrest for trespassing.
Were you standing there when Sergeant McGeorge was speaking to the defendant?
Yes.
Okay. At any point, did the defendant say anything about, yes, I was in the building, or yes, I was there? Did he say anything like that while you were present? If you can remember.
I can't recall, but he wasn't denying being in there.
Okay. And the individual you stopped on Refugee Road, is he in the courtroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you tell me where he is and what he's wearing, please?
Yes, he's wearing the tan and black jacket with the mask right in front of me.
Thank you. Now, this area, this on Refugee Road, this location, is it in the city of Pataskala, Licking County, Ohio?
That's correct, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. And what happened to the bicycle?
I believe Sergeant McGeorge placed it in his cruiser, and we just placed it in our evidence for safekeeping until he could retrieve it.
And where did the defendant go from there?
He went down to the Licking County Jail.
And who transported him, you or Sergeant?
I did.
Okay. And how did you identify Mr. McCrane?
He gave me his ID.
Okay, so he
Driver's
actually had a
license.
driver's license?
He did.
Okay. And that's when he became known to you as Adair McCrane?
That's correct.
Okay. I have nothing further.
Mr. McCrane, you have any questions for the officer?
No.
Okay, you may step down. Let me call your next witness.
This says no further witnesses, we arrest.
Okay. Mr. McCrane, would you like to testify today?
Yes.
Okay.
Right up there to the witness stand. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give in this case now being yours to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God, or I'm the perjury. Have a seat. State your full name, spell your last name.
Adair Amokran.
Spell your last name.
Amokran.
Yeah, yes.
Amokrane.
Okay. And state your full home address.
I have a PO box address.
Okay. Go ahead.
It's PO box.
You want to tell me what happened?
Yes. I was in the warehouse. I thought nobody was there. There's no sign of trespassing, and almost all the doors were open. And I was walking by, and I was curious, and they entered the warehouse just for checking.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to say?
No,
Ms. Davison?
Do you own that property?
no,
Do you know who owns it?
no,
Did you have permission to be there?
no,
I have nothing further.
Anything else you'd like to say today?
no.
You may step down. Any other evidence you'd like to present today? Okay. Ms. Davison,
We have nothing in rebuttal, thank you.
anything in closing?
No, thank you.
Mr. Ramakrishna, would you like to say anything else in closing today? Okay, based on the evidence presented today, I'll find you guilty of trespass. State of a recommendation.
Yes, Your Honor, at this time, we would ask the court to sentence him to 30 days. He's done this before. This is a pattern, and obviously he knew he wasn't allowed to be there. I understand he might not have a place to go, but at the same time, we can't have people going onto other people's property that is vacant. There's all kinds of stuff happening in these properties. That's why they have somebody watching them. They took the appropriate steps. We would ask the court to just sentence him accordingly.
5 days. Mr. Ramakrishna, you want to say anything before I sentence you today? Okay. Where are you staying now?
The hotel
Hotel? Which hotel?
is not.
What's that?
It's not.
Okay, I'll impose court costs, 30 days jail. I'll give you 5 days credit.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Stand up, all right.